Hello, welcome back to the channel again. It's rainy, swampy, wet, as you can tell from outside. So today I'm in the greenhouse and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to be taking care of succulents, which I have much neglected. I like growing succulents, but unfortunately they're not my number one plant. It's not something that I take care of or pay attention to all the time. That being said, some of my succulents have seen better days and have been beaten up a bit more. Some of them were left out during that hard frost slash freeze that we had during around Christmas time throughout most of the country. And I'm going to bring this over to you guys here. You can see some of them are a little worse for wear there. It's just a little beaten up. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to turn around, unpot some of these, and then I'm going to repot everything and try to, I think I can condense down to one container maybe. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. Maybe I'm going to put everything into the triangular one and free up this one. But I'll see what I can do here and bring you along. If you've never grown succulents before, give it a shot. It's a desert plant. You don't have to water them for the most part that regularly. I'm not a succulent expert by far, but from my understanding, most succulents, they store most, if not all, of their water up in their leaves. And even though they're a desert plant, they do need water occasionally. And again, that's why a lot of succulents have very thick leaves, because that's what they're doing. They're storing the waters in there. But again, I'm no expert, so feel free to do your homework. If you do grow succulents and you are more of an expert than I am, which would be pretty much everybody, please leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about succulents, feel about succulents. And I'm also going to show you a couple other things I've learned recently. Well, let me just get on with this and then I'll show you those things that I've learned and figured out. And yeah. All right, first thing I'm going to do is clean up a little bit of workspace here on my potting bench. Move these gloves out of the way. And we're going to start with the big round guy here. So again, a lot of these, I can just go through here and say, this is dead. There's no hope here whatsoever for this plant. Same thing with this. And again, it was probably that freeze that did them in. And this is mostly my fault for not understanding or not learning as much as I should know about succulents. But this is all part of gardening or learning to garden, is that you learn. You make mistakes, and then you learn. So this plant, even though it looks like it got beat up to all heck, looks like it's all right. And if I tease this soil here, you can see what I mean by not having a lot of roots. We really don't see any roots here. And if I tease a bit more, there's a couple of roots. It's hard to see on camera, and I'm sorry about the focus on the camera. I have an autofocus set on the camera, and it doesn't always do its job. But this succulent here looks pretty good. So what we're going to do, actually, pull this a little bit closer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside, and then we'll replant that one. Now this one, I really don't know the variety, and due to its beat up nature, so this one's pretty rough. That might be a good leaf right there. Again, hard to tell on the camera, and I apologize for that. Pull that off. This might be something here. I just want to tease away some of the soil too, just to see the roots that I have. Do I have good roots? Do they look viable? And this plant, even though it looks pretty small and flimsy, I think I can recover this, because this white growth on top, it seems like a leaf and it seems okay. So I'm going to replant this guy. This compatriot here looks just as bad. I'm prying off or looking to pry off or take off or remove any dead, loose growth. And it might not look like it's all that viable. Though this guy seems a little beat up. This one also seems, like, again, maybe I may be able to salvage this and replant it. So life is good there. Yeah, these guys right here, they look pretty much done. They're just stems. So now this guy over here, this is one of those ones that it looked a lot worse, but now is looking a lot better. I gave it some water. It was in the warmer greenhouse. So now it's looking a bit better. It has new foliage on it, which is good. See this top over here? It looked like it was burnt off, and that died because there was a lot more foliage on here. And now it's got all the new foliage on here. So this one I will replant. I think it'll be fine. I just want to remove some of this soil again. This is all old soil. It's also a little compacted around the plant. And I'm not sure that's such a good thing either. What I use, and I'll show you that in a few minutes, is a cactus blend. And now, last but not least, this one also looked very bad. Let's see here. All right, if I clean off a lot of this, so some of this foliage actually looks pretty good. It's not falling off when I touch it. So that's a good thing. So I'll replant this guy, and he'll hopefully be a-okay. So that was all the plants in this one. I'm actually going to turn around and put all this soil and debris from the dead plants into the compost pile. Again, it'll mix with all the other stuff in there, and it can be reused out in the garden. Okay, so this one, we're going to remove all these decorative rocks. Now this one as well was out on the back deck, and yeah, it's suffered quite a bit here. So let's start with the first and foremost one closest to camera here. Now I don't know a lot of these succulents and or their names. I've forgotten or lost the tags, but I have a way of identifying them, which I will show you in a few minutes. I might be able to divide this one. So I have a stem with some foliage and roots. So that's a divided succulent there. So we're going to put that one to the side. And I think I can do the same with this. This one's a bit dicey, but I have roots, I have a stem, and I have foliage. And I'll plant it up and see what happens. Next one. This one looks really good. Has some little dead foliage around the base, but that's kind of normal for this type of succulent from my experience, and which is very limited. So again, I'm not an expert, but see how fat and thick the leaves are? And that's where it stores all of its water, because it doesn't have a very extensive root system. Put that one there. Oh God, so many succulents died under my watch and care. Oh boy. All right, let's go with the next one here. This one looks dicey. The stem seems all right. So this one looks very good. And that's probably because it was more cold tolerant, cold hardy. But you can see how the stem has grown. Now I think I can propagate this one from leaves. I'm not super good or experienced at that, but I think I will give it a try after I replant it. Maybe I'll take a few of the leaves and then see what happens. But I've never been very good at propagating succulents. But you know, practice makes perfect, right? Okay, let's get rid of this soil. I'm going to start to fill this up. I'm using a Miracle-Gro cactus, palm, and citrus mix. Okay, so I've got my mixture in here, and I think I'll start replanting this now. So, where do I start? I think I might start with the last one we took out, which is this one. So, I'll stick that right in there. I'm also not a plant designer, so when I stick these into the pots, there's no particular plan and there's no aesthetic value per se of what the plant may or may not do. I'll put that rock there. It looks nice. I'm going to put this guy right up in here. Like that. Something like that, right? And maybe put a little rock. Yeah. Rock there. Just to sort of help prop it up. Now again, I may propagate. You know what I'm gonna get crazy here. And again, if you're an expert succulent person, please feel free to leave a comment below screaming at me, telling me I'm doing something horribly wrong. But I'm gonna pull off this stem with these two little guys, and I'm gonna try to replant them into here someplace. Okay, so maybe we'll put this guy right in here. Have them lean against the edge. I'm gonna take two babies and just simply put them right there. Put this small rock here. Yeah, something like that. Tuck this guy over here. There we go. This one looks a little rough, and hopefully this plant survives. I don't know. Let's go with this big guy. We tuck this one back up in here, and then maybe its friend over here. Tuck that in there. And then this itty bitty one. There we go. And next, this sad looking guy. and its sad little friends. All right, so what I'm going to try to do is take maybe some of these succulents that I have up on the shelf here, and I'll put them into this pot. I'll mix them into this pot. That'll free up some shelf space, and it'll add more to this pot here. I don't remember what this guy is. Picked him up recently at my local garden center, and I've had him in here in the greenhouse for a few months now, and I like him. And he does have some good height, so I think I'm going to add him to this pot, and I think I'm going to put him in front of the rock here. There we go. Looks nice. All right, what else we got? I could even take some of the rocks that were in the pot. Let's just place it around it. Okay, sorry about that. I got carried away. It just started getting so fun putting in all the little rocks and trying to arrange the succulents in different places. And yeah, it's what happens. You get into a little project with whatever you're doing, and you start adding the little details, and yeah, next thing you know, time flies and the camera turns off because it's run out of battery or something. Now I still have this string of pearls. I believe that's what it's called, string of pearls. Zoom in over close here. And I did steal some of the succulents from this pot. Now this pot is now a mess. The string of pearls here is fine for the time being, but I think I'm going to repot it, and maybe I'll put it into its own container. And I'll leave it here on the shelf so it can hang down and look nice and yada, yada, yada. There's a couple other succulents that I have that are still very small. And of course there was the little leaves that I took today. I took actually another one. Let me show you that. The camera focus. This one is from a something or other. I don't know, and that's part of the problem. Is because I'm not a succulent expert. I only kind of like the way they look and some of their leaves and textures, etc. I'm terrible at identifying the succulents. One of the ways that I'm going to try to improve on that, along with identifying many other plants, is if you have an iPhone, probably on a Google phone too, this would work. You can now turn around, take a photo, and then it will try to identify that plant. So let me, for instance, turn around and take a picture here. Let's do this guy right here. Photo. And this trick I learned from, I can't remember her name. I'll leave a thing right here because I'm senile, and I'll look it up on the computer later. But it was this woman who I discovered this little trick from. And basically what happens is that on the bottom of the iPhone, there should be a little eye indicator. And if you click on that, if there's a star on it, and the picture I just took didn't have a star, no star. Okay, so here's one. Again, I'll take a screenshot just to show it to you. And if I click on that, it should say something like look up photo, and then it gives me results. And this one, it's pretty spot on. And again, this is on the iPhone. I can only assume or presume or hope that the same thing is on a Google phone. Now, this is built in, which is great. It's doing these things. Now, if you don't have that, and again, the first couple of plants I took pictures of, it didn't show the little star on the eye. So I have a few other apps here. Let's try Picture This. This is a downloadable app. You can sign up for it. You can use it for free. You just have to kind of go through a few screens to say, leave me alone, I don't want to buy your paid stuff. And I click on it, and let's see if I can go over here, take a picture, let's get it into focus. It's scanning, and it comes back as Buddha's temple. It's a species of Caracilla. So that was This plant here, this is Buddha's temple. So I can turn around now, use between the built-in and also the plant apps. Again, I have a few on this phone. I have Picture This, Garden Answers, Seed to Spoon, PlantNet, Seek. They all have their pros and cons, but I don't pay for any of them, and I suggest you don't pay for any of them either unless you really want to and maybe help contribute to building their database with pictures of your own. That would be the big benefit. But that's it. This is my rainy day project. I now created this nice little pot of succulents. I will keep this in the greenhouse right over here on the bench for the remainder of the winter. If you have any questions, comments, etc., please leave them below. I'm always wanting to hear from everybody out there. And again, if you've grown succulents, if you've designed pots or whatever, please let me know in the comments below. Have I done something wrong today? Again, I'm not a succulent expert, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So if you're still with me, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that bell icon to see what video I come out with next. I don't know. Today, I was hoping that it wouldn't get so much rain and I could do something else out in the garden. There's so many projects that I need to do before springtime. So again, if you follow along, hit that bell icon to be reminded when I do post up a new video. You'll then can follow along with what I'm doing as I'm building out my garden, as spring is coming in. I still have raised beds to put together. I still have to fill them. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm going to start sowing various plants maybe this week. We'll have to see how the weather is. There's more rain forecast coming up. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. Where am I going? It's raining outside.